Restricted nasal breathing is one of the most commonly heard complaints by ENTs, or ear, nose, and throat specialists, affecting over 20 million people in the United States. This condition has a measurable impact on quality of life, as it presents a constant bother and source of embarrassment, causes reliance on mouth breathing, leads to difficulty sleeping and habitual snoring, and may even limit endurance during sports and exercise. Slight dilation of the nasal passages directly counteracts obstruction at its source and reverses symptoms in 90% of those afflicted. To this end, over 125,000 sufferers choose to undergo a functional rhinoplasty each year. However, after a painful year-long recovery, up to 20% of these patients return to their surgeons post-operatively complaining of worsened or unimproved symptoms. More to the point, millions view the invasive option as too extreme for their non-life-threatening symptoms. These individuals are left without treatment during the day, but often use commercially available nasal dilators, such as breathe right strips, at home and overnight. These devices instantly reproduce the effects of surgery. However, customers find these sleep aids uncomfortable, difficult to use, and too visible to wear in public. We have developed N-Stent, a discreet nasal dilator that is worn inside the nose to open the airways and aid breathing. Much like a contact lens, the device is inserted and removed daily by the user. It instantly enables clear nasal breathing, it is invisible to others during use, and users acclimate to wearing the device in minutes. To date, we have fabricated prototypes that enable a 75% improvement in airflow compared to unaided breathing. Moreover, prototypes produce an unnoticeable change in the appearance of the nose, are comfortable during extended use, and remain stable in the nose under a sneeze or peak inhalation. We plan to sell and distribute our device directly to consumers at $4 per reusable pair through online retailers. Overall, N-Stent possesses a $250 million market opportunity. Based on extensive stakeholder interviews, our comfortable and discreet device meets the needs of patients and physicians alike and presents a desirable alternative to surgery.
Everyone has taken a photo before, whether it's a selfie or a picture of atoms. Every photo reveals depth of life beyond our imagination. I co-invented the electron microscopy pixel array detector, EMPAD for short. It's essentially a camera that can record every single electron that scatters through a sample. This is similar to taking a selfie with the sun in the background. But with the EMPAD, you can see yourself and the sun with all its sunspots in detail without saturating the image. This is what the EMPAD can do for electrons.
You know how these are atoms and things are very sensitive? So if you tap, it distorts the image. So any kind of motion.
This means instead of seeing a flat image, we can see the electric field, magnetic field, and even more details with the structure than ever before. The EMPAD is on the market and has already been sold around the world. Scientists can use this detector to discover new materials to create faster computers. Biologists can use it to look at biomolecules to provide insight for better drug treatments and cures for diseases like Alzheimer's. For art conservationists, they can use the EMPAD to find ways to maintain irreplaceable paintings so that they can be enjoyed by many generations to come. The EMPAD can benefit many people in different types of fields, leading to scientific breakthroughs that can potentially impact the world.
A significant amount of chemicals is used in agriculture, with over $100 billion spent on pesticides annually. A major problem is that the spraying of chemicals is very inefficient, and studies found that only 2% of sprayed chemicals end up on their intended target. The remaining 98% run off and pollute soils and groundwater, leading to millions of pesticide poisoning cases every year. One of the main reasons of this low efficiency is that plants are hydrophobic or water repelling, so when droplets are sprayed, a significant portion bounces right off. At MIT, we developed a patent-pending technology that solves this problem by using electrically charged polymers to drastically enhance the retention of the sprays. We mix these polymers with chemicals and spray the two charged solutions simultaneously. When two droplets of oppositely charged polymers meet on the surface, they form hydrophilic or water-attracting surface precipitates that stick to the surface and prevent droplets from bouncing. We have shown a decrease in pesticide needs by up to 10 times, and by improving the coverage, we can reduce losses due to pests and increase yields. The polymers we use are biodegradable and biocompatible, so they will not contribute to the runoff pollution. We have tried this approach on several plants and showed large increases in retention and surface coverage. There is a clear need for this technology and a $15 billion addressable market. And by taking our product to market, we hope to achieve our mission to eliminate pesticide runoff, protect our water resources, and help rural communities be healthy and prosperous.
Currently, there are over 3 million Americans at risk for severe blindness and eye pain due to diseases of the cornea, and they can only be cured by corneal transplant. The current standard of care, the DMEC procedure, offers excellent patient outcomes but is very difficult to perform. Here at TriTech, in consultation with over 25 top ophthalmology centers and eye banks across the nation, we have developed a novel end-to-end solution for DMEC that reduces risk and makes it easier by offloading steps to the eye bank technicians, workers who prepare the cornea before every procedure. During a corneal transplant, the insidemost layer of a patient's diseased cornea is replaced with healthy tissue from a donor cornea. However, this donor tissue is very fragile, is very easily damaged with contact, and like wrapping paper, tends to scroll up on itself. To unscroll it, surgeons are currently limited to tapping on the cornea, using jets of fluid or bubbles, or using instruments alongside these approaches. We realized we can make a solution to this problem by introducing a novel workflow to eye bank technicians and by using the trifold technique. The trifold technique folds the graft opposite the way it naturally wants to scroll, similar to folding wrapping paper with the design facing inwards. Eye bank technicians then load the trifolded graft into the inserter, place on its cap, and ship it in storage media. In the operating room, the surgeon need only remove the caps on the inserter, attach the ergonomic handle, pull out the graft, and allow it to naturally unroll in the eye. Our device has been rigorously tested. Shown is a real tri-folded, preloaded DMEC graft being pulled out of our inserter into conditions that simulate the inside of the eye. As you can see, the graft naturally unrolls. Most importantly, testing with a major eye bank has shown that corneal grafts are healthier using our device compared to other devices on the market. TriTech is the first to provide preloaded tri-folded grafts, and we have received overwhelming support from both eye banks and corneal surgeons across the nation.
Constrained by limitations of the clinical amputation surgery, previous approaches to neural control of prosthetic limbs have been focused on one-way communication from the brain to the prosthetic device. One of the primary types of feedback that's missing from these previous systems is called proprioception. Proprioception is the sense of the relative positioning of our body parts. In other words, it's what allows me to close my eyes and touch my fingers together. I can do that because I can sense where my fingers are in space as I move them. I wanted to find a way for people to feel truly connected to their prosthetic devices by restoring proprioception. The agonist-antagonist mioneural interface, or the AMI, provides two-way neural communication of joint position, speed, and force from a prosthetic limb to the brain. There are two primary innovations in this invention. The first is a new surgery that involves manipulation of muscles within the residual limb. Opposing muscles are linked together to recreate the dynamic muscle relationships that are essential for joint feedback. The second innovation is a new robotic control system, which would allow a person with this new surgery to control any robotic foot ankle in such a way that it feels like their own leg.
Feels like you put the bones back in your foot.
Have you ever had to travel in bad weather? Our transportation systems don't work well in bad weather conditions. Flights are cancelled, trains are slowed down, and driving is dangerous. Self-driving cars will face similar limitations. These cars rely on cameras and laser ranging sensors to measure the environment. Unfortunately, such sensors don't operate well in challenging weather. In my research, I solved the problem of seeing through occluders such as fog. I'm using visible light as opposed to radar, which is essential to reading road signs and classifying objects with high accuracy. To solve this problem, I invented all photons imaging. To understand how it works, we need to understand why we cannot see through such occluders with our own eyes or cameras. Here is a light source and a camera. Cameras use lenses to focus light from the object we want to see onto a sensor to capture a sharp image. If we now add fog between the light source and the camera, the water droplets will scatter the light, and as a result, the camera won't focus on the object, and this is what we see. The scattering is coding information about the hidden object and the fog in a very complicated way. All photons imaging is based on a combination of sensing hardware and an algorithm that is able to extract useful information from the scattered photons and recover both the target photo and depth. This is unlike other approaches that reject the scattered light and produce low-quality results. I conduct my experiments in dense, heterogeneous, and dynamic fog conditions. Here are some of the experimental results as fog is being added. On the left are other methods, and on the right is all photons imaging, recovering the target depth map and a photo, demonstrating more than 6 times better contrast. If we measure photons in the right way and extract all possible information from what seems like noise, we can literally see through objects, giving us the ability to understand our environments, ourselves, and make our transportation systems more reliable.